Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you today. Russia's new payment system. Oh, it's well underway. And how come Ripple's connected to everything we're talking about today? Oh, Russia, India, China, you name it. The Ripple connection's there. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube and digperspectives.com, where you can join the Freedom Zone and support the channel for almost next to nothing. Right here, $2.89 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 1.7%. 72,800 plus for Bitcoin. Yowza, come on in. Yeah, and 4,000 plus for Ethereum right now. 102 billion plus for Tether market cap. XRP is 68 cents right now. And even though we're off by 1.7 on the 24-hour, we are up 14.3 right now on the 7-day. Now let's take a look at the range of price. As you can see, things have been moving around quite a bit, from 66 to 70 cents. We will keep an eye on it. We know that staying above 66 cents and closing above that is going to be crucial for the indicators that the technical analysts use. They said it as a critical point. So we want to see staying above 66 cents for that bullish trend to continue is what they're telling us. So we'll keep an eye on it. This is linked to where you can get the best private equity in the world. And if you don't believe me, I tell you what, you might want to ask. Let's see what the number is now. There are over 729,000 registered users, for which I'm one. So let me just tell you this, okay? It is the best private equity in the world. And let me tell you what else I did. I just bought Ripple today because there's a special. Oh, yes, there is. There is a nice special going on, and I took advantage of it. 24-hour promo right now, okay? Get Ripple private equity and listen to this deal. You get 1,000 XRP for orders between 10,000 and 25K. You get 2,500 XRP for orders of Ripple private equity between 25 and 50K, and 5,000 XRP for orders of 50,000 and over. Look at that. Think of it. Now, look, we don't know what will happen to the price, but just imagine if XRP goes to $5, $8 or something on what you get. I don't know. Look, it's just a great deal all the way around, and you just need to get started. You sign up, you register, and you get the private equity right away. You wouldn't believe how quick and easy it is. Most of you out there, and I know you've been listening for a long time, you think it's hard to do and all that. It is not hard to do. It's very quick. It's very simple and easy. It doesn't require a lot to get registered and sign up. And it's even easier to fund your account now. And let me tell you something. I funded my account like that and had Ripple private equity this morning. First thing when I got up and came down, I saw that special and I said, you know what? I'm taking advantage of it too, and I hope you do. Links underneath the stream, underneath the video, for our sponsor. Well, XDC's got some good news. We love it. Go XDC. Love hearing this. Multi-chain world after all. It's a multi-chain world after all. Yeah, you know how it goes. I love the smell of crypto in the morning. Who isn't excited about this market turning around? Look, forking Corium blockchain. Zinfin's XDC blockchain is a fork from Corium. We'll talk about XDC later, but for now, just know that it made some significant changes to the Corium protocol. Loving all of this because it's going to take multiple chains. Consensus acquires JP Morgan's Corium. You see the ties here. This is amazing. Shout out to Symmetry 7 here. And then obviously Digital Pound Foundation on February 29th came out and said, we are pleased to announce a new partner, Global Digital Fi, and Open Innovation Community, PayPal, Binance, Tether. You see all the connections right here, right? This is huge stuff. We know XTC is going to be big in the trade, supply and trade. I'm so excited to see it do its thing. There's no question about it. There's a great community attached to it. Now, look at this, because speaking of trade, right, we have to talk about the global stage and the things that are happening that I believe become the very, very real, undeniable catalysts for change inside the financial system. I know we've been doing this for more than a decade with this grassroots, the people use it on the way up. I get it. It's beautiful. But I tell you what else I get too. I get that, in order for this technology to truly take off for digital assets, it has to be adopted from within the system. We need a government and militaries using this technology for their benefit, just like they started using the internet first, and then it went to the consumers. And that's an important part of this, is understanding that we still have not seen the top down happen yet. And when we do, I think it is going to be massive. And I think you're getting ready to see an element of that right this minute. Russia goes digital. Here's your top down, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is for the United States is that it's Russia. And Russia is inside the BRICS coalition. Now, I want you to listen to the first couple minutes of this. This is very real, ladies and gentlemen. Take a listen here.
Russian President Putin has signed a new law allowing the use of digital financial assets in international trade. The law permits the DFAs to be used as a form of payment for international transfers, challenging the West's dominance of global payment superstructures such as SWIFT. All right, let's cross live now to RT contributor Chris Sams to help explain the new trade mechanism. Chris, what major changes will this new law bring?
Well, I think, Rachel, the major change it makes is it really allows government institutions in Russia and Russian companies to freely use other and alternative payment methods in order to conduct their transfers. As we know, Russia was cut off, 2 years ago from the global financial system. Most Russian banks have the inability to use payment systems such as SWIFT or any other real payment method of moving money in and out of the country. Now, with this law passing, it means that other methods can be used, such as cryptocurrencies, for example, which is what I'm a strong advocate of, to move money instantly from one country to another. So it's quite significant, really, because it basically breaks down all of the barriers that the Russian economy had to trade in terms of payments.
Signs law for international payments. Now, he just made it clear. Keep listening.
Chairman of the Russian State Duma's Financial Markets Committee pointed out that the use of digital financial assets will help protect trade with friendly nations from the pressures of sanctions. So how exactly does that work?
Yeah, it's a really great question, Rachel. So how that works essentially is if we're using alternative payment methods such as cryptocurrencies, for example, or sovereign-based coins like the digital Russian ruble, for example, what that does is those systems are in a sense, a black box to other nations from seeing those transactions. For example, if we were to perform a SWIFT transfer, so if I was to send you rubles or dollars using SWIFT, it's very, very probable that the United States, for example, would be able to see all of those transaction flows, to see who I'm paying and who is being paid by me. And that's where we've seen a lot of these sanctions come into place on companies abroad that have been trading with Russian companies. That will disappear now if these alternative digital financial assets are used as payments instead of the traditional payment form.
Hello.
So what countries would benefit from this new digital asset mechanism?
Oh, yeah, I think a number of countries. I mean, let's look at Russia's key ally, China. China implemented the digital renminbi, their own digital, if you like, cryptocurrency many, many years ago. Russia has followed suit with its own. So you can now, I think, see Russia trading using digital assets, including its own, with its ally China, which should increase trade and stop other foreign powers from interfering in the trade that they're doing between each other. You can
Hello. Now, there we go. Now we got Russia and China working together as they sign this law for international payments.
see the same for India as well, where Russia's
too.
doing a huge amount of trade with India. It's been very hard historically for Russia to be able to trade between the Indian rupee and the Russian ruble due to this constraint of the SWIFT system. Now, if other countries start to accept other forms of digital payment, you'll start to see that become pretty much frictionless.
Okay, so how does it get frictionless? It's got to be on somebody's protocol, somebody's value protocol, somebody's rails, somebody's network. And these ties are remarkable to me. This is what Ashish Birla said a couple years ago about Ripple in India. He says, but we realize that if you get the top 3 banks in India onto Ripple, you get 80% of the market share. Stay with me. 2016, Central Bank of Russia acknowledged that their pilot using Ripple's network and XRP worked great. Yeah. All the way back to 2016, 2018. Think of it for a moment. They just signed the law for international payments. Then remember when we covered this? Bank of China? Remember when they referred to the cross-border payments and everything in here? And about, look, ISO 20022, right? Ripple needs to cooperate with SWIFT, new competitors such as Ripple. Ripple needs to find the right position and form a differentiated advantage. Cross-border payments. Ripple and SWIFT promote each other and develop together. This is all Bank of China assessing Ripple and what it can do. Look at it. This is the Bank of China. Solving the problem of neutrality becomes the key for future development. Future cross-border payment system. Neutrality can be maintained. Key trade-offs. Ripple, as a native American fintech company, is inevitably subject to influence of U.S. regulators. We're certainly being suppressed because of that right now. But as a commercial bank, it should be carefully considered. In the absence of effective means to avoid the risk of swift sanctions, whether using Ripple will step into another American trap. That's what they're concerned about. That's Bank of China. The Ripple coin, meaning XRP, right, has tended to become a speculative tool which threatens financial security and social stability. So they need to do something, the Bank of China says, to stable that price, right? To maintain stability of Ripple, which they mean XRP, on the one hand, a stable exchange rate is formed by anchoring various legal currencies in reality, such as the dollar, a basket of currencies, or a combination of commodities, right? The currency has a stable support, preferably a one-to-one reserve, and safety and liquidity of the reserve must be guaranteed. This is the Bank of China, right? This is the Bank of China just 2 years ago. So we got connections, Ripple to China, Ripple to India, Ripple to Russia. How much of it's solidified today and being used, I don't know. But I tell you what, understanding that BRICS coalition and all those countries mentioned are looking to de-dollarize and move away from the dollar, and their economies are growing rapidly, this is something that cannot be ignored. Which is why when I covered yesterday, Ron Hammond, shout out to him, he says this Russia-China creating a new blockchain system to rival Western ones could be the national security risk that makes U.S. Congress move on stablecoin legislation. And you just heard the Bank of China say that they need to do something to make XRP more stable. Automated market makers is a stabilization mechanism, and so is pathfinding. It helps stabilize the liquidity as it draws off to make transactions. This is remarkable to me. There will always be those who call us crazy until we aren't. Today, we have validation just how important stablecoin legislation has really become. This is no longer a crypto issue. This is a national security issue. We need FSOC in Congress to act now. And I appreciate Ron Hammond's effort. You know, let me tell you, this is why I'm so curious about stablecoins, not only for XRP, but because we know that in order to start using these protocols, you're going to need assets that are legislative clarity and regulatory clarity to begin using them. So it starts here. Now, it's another conversation to wonder if XRP does fall into that in the eyes of a regulator or a banker. So we yet to know that second question either. But this is a remarkable, remarkable time that we are in. And meanwhile, we see Goldman Sachs and BNY Mellon conduct a successful blockchain pilot. And I want to highlight here, they involved over 350 simulated transactions via distributed ledger technology on the Canton network, which they've developed. And it includes multiple banks. And I mean, you get it, right? 22 permission blockchains, 13 banks, 4 custodians, 3 exchanges, stablecoin issuer Paxos, right? 15 asset managers. They brought them all in. So the interesting thing here I want to highlight is the simulated transactions. And as I have said, XRP has one price. People believe, oh, there's a private ledger, so there's a private price. I don't believe that. Because if there was that, then you would see the institutions find a separate holding company and they would have drained the exchanges already. It's my personal opinion. And for me, there isn't two prices, even though there's a private network and the public blockchain. I think there's one price. But however, when you do simulated transactions, you're able to formulate what the price needs to be to handle the volume for all of these entities. Now, I'm not suggesting that Ripple's involved in this particular project. I'm using it as an arbitrary example that we know Ripple does work with multiple banks, some of them central banks. So at the end of the day, you know that they know what the price needs to be to handle the volume for each individual bank, which means they also know what the price needs to be collectively, because you have to run simulated transactions and trials and pilots to know how this technology is going to respond. This is why the Bank of England, who's been a partner to Ripple for years and years and years, right? We saw Victoria Cleland say a couple years ago that there could be a big bang cutover, but even that in mind, when it happens, the old payment rails will run next to the new payment rails for a period of time in case there is an issue. So I don't believe there's two different prices for XRP, but I certainly believe they know what the price will be based on the level of liquidity moving onto the network at any given time. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're going into the Freedom Zone right now. Oh, you're going to want it. We're going to talk about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's got something to say, and you're going to want to hear it. And do we have a country or do we have a banana republic? We're going to get into that right now in the Freedom Zone. Great way to support the channel at digitalperspectives.com for next to nothing. You know, get yourself into that private Telegram that we have as well. I will repost that link at the top, and you can also get a discount for XRP Las Vegas. We'll get that up there for you too. And enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into the Freedom Zone right now. Come on in. All right.